I did this painting on the Sacral Chakra, and there is a lot to be read about the Sacral Chakra as some prefer, as is there is on a lot to be read on a lot of these wonderful ancient systems. So I was reading about the Sacral Chakra, and I wanted to do a painting on it, and more the representation, the story, so to speak, of what I'd read, how I made sense of the information that I'd read, the research that I did, as opposed to just doing a a symbol thing like, well, here's the symbol for the Sacral Chakra, and it's normally has the flying creature Garuda with Vishnu on the top and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to do some of that, but I wanted to really do a painting on the story, what the kind of story means to me, and people who look at the painting, what they can get out of it, so to speak. And so the painting basically starts with this kind of shadow self in the middle, this demon kind of thing in the middle. And that's because the Sacral Chakra is about the realization of the karma that you have sown and how it can come back to you and what it can do. And if you don't believe in karma, it's just the things that you've said and done in this life that either haunt you or make you feel guilty or uncomfortable about how you've acted or been, okay? But I do believe in karma, so I'm going to be talking from that point of view. So the demon in the middle is when you start to wake up to your karmic repercussions, and you start to understand about what you've sown and therefore what you're reaping. Okay, so the painting starts with this shadow self. Okay, I would like to call it the shadow self, and some people like to think about kind of negating the shadow self, and I would prefer personally an integration of the shadow self. So we are what we are, and once you integrate the shadow self into your light self, you get this balance, you get the proper balance. And I've always found that it's the shadow self that has really protected me in times of things being, either I've been in danger or people have pushed me too far. I've been kind of giving and being kind of tolerating, and then something happens and someone just goes too far and takes my tolerance as a kind of weakness. And then, the shadow self comes up and goes, oi, 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 blah, 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 it's enough. So going back to the painting, so the Sacral Chakra is normally related to creativity, sensuality, sexuality, which I think is a little bit narrow, to be honest, because it's about this awakening of realization of who and what you are, and creativity. So in my painting, we've already mentioned the shadow self. This up here, this is representing the dog, okay? And for me, the dog is about loyalty. And within the remit of this painting, loyalty is about loyalty to yourself. It's about being loyal to yourself. It's about being the friend to yourself that you've always wanted. It's about admiring yourself, doing and being the person that you admire, and being the best that you can be. Being all those things that you respect in other people, you basically create and flourish and nurture in yourself. So the dog is about loyalty to yourself, to be what you can be. Because we know how destructive humans can be. We know how cruel and evil humans can be. But if we basically tap in to this area of ourselves, this area, this is the kind of representing the Patronus type of idea. There's something that always protects you. There's a divine power that will always protect you. There's something so good in the world. There's people and things happening right now that are so good, so wholesome, so wonderful. so positive. So whereas humans can be terribly destructive and cruel and evil, they can also be wonderful. And if we nurture this wonderful aspect of us, we get this bowl of cherries and we get something very beautiful and unique grow up in our own creativity. The waters down here are symbolic of the waters of creativity, but also the waters of purification. The painting's called Purify. And these are creative waters, but also the water that needs to run through us to purify us of energies that we no longer want or serve our highest good. And we also have this water here coming down with this sign of the Sacral Chakra. Down here we have a laughing figure because, you know, I remember reading many years ago about Buddhism and you know, the story about a monk seeing a hearse go by and him clapping and laughing, and people were really horrified and like, oh, you don't clap and laugh at a hearse going by. But he said it's, you know, life's a play, it's a stage. You know, he's played his part and now it's over, and well done, congratulations for fulfilling your role. So this is a great reminder about when we're going through all this. It's, you know, it's a story. It's our divine contract. We came down here because we wanted to learn stuff, and you know, some people get into some very horrible situations, and it's very difficult to ever understand why you wanted to learn something like that or be in a situation like that. But this is a kind of reminder that, you know, before we incarnated, we're all up there discussing who's going to play what part and what we're all going to get out of it and stuff. So that's that bit. But going back to the waters of creativity. Now, creativity can be painting, it can be poetry, it can be writing, it can be riding a bike, it can be cooking, gardening, it can be doing a sport, it can be anything, it can be sewing. Okay, there's so many ways to be creative. And that creativity is the purifying energy that allows anything inside us to be kind of purged. So creativity is such a purging activity. And this little angel down here has got a votive. It's almost like gunning for us, really, really on our side, really, really encouraging us to go, come on, let it all out in whatever way is kind of respectful and wonderful, and, you know, using the higher divine eternal force that runs through us in order to create something and integrate all of this. Okay, get this under kind of control and not letting it rule. I mean, there's a little suggestion here. It's a breast, because the sacral chakra can be related to sexuality, and again, it's a reminder that sexuality can be sacred and healing, or the use of sex can be very destructive and not be good for people's self-esteem and the way they kind of use sexual energy. So it's just a kind of acknowledgement of sexual energy and the beauty that can arise from it again, the uniqueness that can arise from sacred sexuality and healing through sexuality. Or it can take people down these blind alleys, round and round. If the demon, the dark shadow side, is ruling everything, these blind alleys will be where people live, going round and round in circles, up, down, round, lost in this maze of darkness. And even this path up here, it's a kind of nice little off the beaten track kind of path, still not kind of leading you onwards and upwards, but, you know, a little bit of a detour maybe that isn't so dark as coming round and round here. So also the image here of the owl is about wisdom. You know, owls are about wisdom, silently being able to see things in the different light. You know, owls are silent, they watch, they observe, and they use their wisdom in order to get what they need. Okay, and their silence and they're just kind of higher knowledge and stealthiness. So this is symbolic of the stealthiness and the wisdom that we have. If we just use our own wisdom and our loyalty to ourselves and know that we're protected by many forces in this life, we get to integrate and we get to use the sacral chakra as a wonderful foundation and building block in order to move onwards and upwards. There's a little thing down here which is I'm always quite fond of these, and it's the pearl of wisdom. You know, that we're always chasing the pearl of wisdom. There's a little hand focusing on this pearl of wisdom. Always chasing wisdom, always chasing knowledge, and always improving, always being the better version of yourself that you can be. And there's the crocodile here, which is a symbol of the sacral chakra. And the crocodile, I love crocodiles, but you know, the symbolism is you know, they lay silently in wait and can suddenly jump out and surprise you when you didn't even know they were there, which is very much in line with karma and behaviour and what comes back to bite us later on, or to lovers. You know, karma goes both ways. It's not all about this, it's about this, and it's about the creativity. It's about finding your way up the steps to the sun, to the light, you know, to the next chakra, the Manipura. So yeah, that's I think that's it. That's all the symbolism. But the main base message is yourself. You are a wise, wonderful, loyal, fascinating creation that you can just be the best you can be, the best version of you can be, integrating all aspects of self, allowing your creativity to act as a kind of purging valve to get rid of any kind of negative energy and just get rid of pent-up energy. So and so feel clearer and more focused and in control of yourself. So yeah, it's called Purify, and that's what it is. That's the intent of seeing it, that reminder of the brilliance, the creativity, the purification from creativity, and that you are the master, the admirable friend, the person that you can always rely on. You know, this is what you can become when you start to face your karma and decide to be the best version of yourself.